Hey there, folks. Jason here. I'm coming at you from the Red Abstract Studios here in Huntsville, Alabama, and I had a little Apple tidbit I wanted to share with you. It's kind of a little bit of an undocumented feature. If you're an Apple geek, you're probably familiar with the idea that you can invest some money in Apple hardware and software, and then while you work with it, you suddenly stumble across some undocumented feature. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you one of them today. Now, like I said, I'm a self-professed Apple geek, and I really love their hardware, including their network hardware. It's just so nice and easy to set up. And when I set it up, I discovered that they have something really cool here that I don't think a lot of people know about. So I'm going to show it to you here. Pull up Utilities and Airport Utility. I just have it shortcutted there in my dock. Airport Utilities is actually what you use to manage the devices. Now it's up here and you can see I have 4 devices. Now, as I said, I'm coming at you from the Red Abstract Studios, so I'm actually on the network that's being driven by this device here, the Office Airport Extreme base station. It is riding on the Comcast network straight out to the internet. Now, you can see I've got 3 other devices here, and these 3 devices are actually in my house. There's a home time capsule that's driving the main network, and then there's 2 Airport Express base stations that are operating as extenders for other parts of the house, because sometimes the signals get a little weak in my house, and I don't like that much. I'm on the Office network, and I can see all 4 devices that I own. How does that function? Truthfully, I'm not entirely sure. I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, look, Jason, really? You can manage network devices from anywhere. Okay, I get it. I get that you can SSH into your fancy little Cisco router and change whatever you want in the command line. But you know what? I didn't have to set this up. I didn't really do anything. There's a couple of things that I did do that I think plays a role in this, but outside of that, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Now, what I did do was I did use Airport Utility and store all the passwords for these devices in my keychain. Oh, I have a move for my Words Free app. Stored all the passwords for these in my keychain, and I gave my MobileMe account password to each device. Now, this screen says that you should use back to your Mac in this setup screen, that it uses back to my Mac so that it can find file shares from other computers and any airport disks that you might have hooked up to this device. But what I think is going on here is I think there's some kind of dynamic DNS registration that goes on. Because let's face it, what you've got here is you've got 2 things. You've got credentials and you've got locating the device. If you can't locate the device, it doesn't matter if you have the credentials. So how is it locating the device? Well, I think it's locating it through MobileMe. How is it doing the credentials to the device? Well, obviously that is through the keychain. So now that you have the keychain and the password stored in the keychain to manage the devices, and you have MobileMe set up in the devices, bing, it just works. Oh God, I can't believe I said bing. But anyway, you get the point. It just works. So I can actually manage these devices from any network. I can manage them from Panera Bread, Starbucks, office, home, whatever. The wife can call me and say, husband, someone is sitting outside our house and trying to hack into our wireless. And I can go in here to the advanced logs and statistics and see what devices are hooked up to the network. And I can see what kind of signal strength they get. I can see everything about them. I can reboot the router. I can change configurations. I can do just about anything from any network. Now that is cool. It's an undocumented feature. I can't really see anything about that anywhere, but it's really, really cool. Also, if you have a Snow Leopard server, there's something else you should be aware of, and I'm going to cover this in a little bit more detail in a later podcast. But if you have a Snow Leopard server, which I happen to have, if you have this server running and you have services on the server, which if you have a server, of course you can have services running because that's what a server's for, is for running services. So if you have the services configured on your server, then you can serve those services across the service ports on the Airport Extreme base station. those of you that have set up Snow Leopard server, you may have come across a screen where it asked you to put in your Airport Extreme password. And if you gave it that password, then what you just gave your Snow Leopard server the ability to do is manage opening ports on your Airport Extreme base station automatically. Once you configure those services, you can come in here and add those services, and it will go out to your Airport Extreme base station or Airport Express and open those ports for you. How badass is that? You don't really even have to know the ports. It just works. Now that is Apple coolness, folks. That's kind of the things you get when you buy into the Apple stuff. Now, for those of you looking at maybe doing a Snow Leopard server on that great new little Mac Mini that comes with the 2 hard drives, this is a great option. You can set up a little home network with your Airport Extreme base station. You can use server preferences to turn on VPN services. You can create a little VPN network, all kinds of great stuff. And I'll go into all of that stuff in detail much later. But this is cool stuff, folks. If you buy the Apple hardware, all this just works. So, just thought I'd share that with you. This is Jason signing off. Have a good one.